everyone. I am the Queen of the Street, Francine, and you are listening to Eyes Up Here on the iHeartRadio Network or wherever you get your podcasts. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Chad. Chester, how you doing today?
I'm awesome. This is great. I'm lovely, wonderful, amazing.
Wow, very positive today.
I was trying to do all my Arnold adjectives.
Arnold who?
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, is that what he's doing in his voice?
Wonderful. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's great. It's lovely.
Oh, really good. That's really good. My husband is a huge Arnold fan.
Nice.
A huge. And you've seen our home gym.
Yes.
So now it's covered with Illini and Arnold. So everywhere I look, Arnold's staring at me. He's judging me as I work out.
Do his eyes move while they go across the room?
Probably. He's a little scary. He's a little intimidating. He used to have a picture of Triple H up there, one of his bodybuilding pictures, but that has been replaced by Arnold. So Triple H is out and Arnold is in.
Did the Triple H picture bury you every time you walked across the room?
He said, "Didn't we fire you in 2006?" I said, "Yes, you did, but I keep coming back." So what's going on in the world of the Chadster? Anything new happening in the house?
Great couple of days. Glad to be back. I hope everything's going well in the castle of the Queen.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
It's one of the best in history.
What did you eat? Did you eat a lot?
I ate what I could.
I wore my stretchy pants. I have stretchy pants. I usually try to get elastic around the waist so I can enjoy my meal. Had a workout before I went. I've been diligent about my workouts, so I was able to eat what I wanted. But I don't like turkey. I'm one of those people who don't like turkey, like the bird turkey. I like lunch meat turkey, but I don't like turkey on Thanksgiving. So I eat stuffing.
Okay.
Stuffing, mashed potatoes, and corn. That's my meal. Oh, and yams if they're very sweet and have marshmallow on them. I like that, but that's all I ate.
Don't like the marshmallow on anything. So they put them on the sweet potatoes and the yams. I like sweet potatoes. I actually like, it's very odd. I like the processed sweet potatoes more than the fresh.
Okay.
Very odd, but if you put a marshmallow on it, we're gonna fight. So
yeah, I hear you. Well, I stay away from the desserts because I hate apple pie and I hate pumpkin pie, and that's what we were told. We did desserts, and that's what we brought.
Okay.
So stayed away, and I don't mind that because then I don't crave sweets, because I can't stand pumpkin. Everybody who knows me knows I hate the pumpkin. No pumpkin.
Well, let me tell you, I've not had a drop of chocolate enter my body in 2023. Okay, so the Thanksgiving treat was cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I indulged with on Thanksgiving, was cheesecake.
Just the regular New York style cheesecake.
That was it. That was the requested dessert since I was not having chocolate.
Yeah.
Any kind of I really haven't had any like cookie, cake, nothing. I mean, the birthday cake, I can't remember. I think they made a peanut butter thing for my birthday, but that was the extent of the sweetest thing I've had all year. But I did replace the alcohol. That ban ended.
You did that. That's okay. We all need a drink.
Sweets I've kept in check.
Did you host or did you go somewhere?
Oh, we're the host. No, we host every year.
Hosting. Yeah, I see. Well, we traveled. This was the first year we were able to travel, and it was nice to be with like my whole family. I think this was the first time in probably the last 4 years, because the last 4 years my mom wasn't able to go anywhere. So now we had the opportunity to actually go and partake, and it was a good time. And I had a couple of cocktails and I enjoyed myself, and I liked it. So nice. Bring on Christmas now. I'm ready. I'm going to start decorating this week, and it's never too early. It's not too early.
I already decorated pre-Thanksgiving, so
you're done.
Well, not the bottom half, not the area you stayed in. That didn't get decorated yet. We put a tree. We put a tree in that area too, but the upstairs main, the 10-footer is up.
Nice.
And it was up pre-Thanksgiving. all decorated. Everything is up. But the dining room that's the only Thanksgiving room in the house, or was the only Thanksgiving room in the house.
Right, right. Well, good for you. Good for you. I'm one of the people who want to get it up kind of early. And then January 2nd, I can't stand looking at it and I need everything out of my face. So I'm excited for this season, but I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And today we're going to change it up here on the show. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a segment called Ask Me Almost Anything. And I always include the almost because some of you are absolutely disgusting. And when you're disgusting, I will not read your question because you're nasty and filthy. So I always had that almost in there. Most of you are respectful. You know who you are. You nasty asses know who you are.
They could be dirty birds.
They are dirty, dirty birds. But we had a great response. We had a lot of questions. So whatever we can't get to on this show, we'll save it for another show. And, there's always someone new asking me a question about something. So I thought it would be fun to answer some. And I read a couple of them. I haven't gone through everything. So Chad, I'm going to let you do the honors and pick some questions for me today. And
Sure.
Hopefully my answers will entertain you.
Absolutely. And I have a wild card question that is not on the list that I will save for the end.
Oh, is it from you?
I'm not telling you who it's from.
You're the viewer who submitted the wild card.
I'm not telling you who it's from.
Okay. All right.
So, I'm saving that for the end. Now, would you like me to read the Twitter handle, who it's from, and then
yes,
okay.
I think that would be fun to give them a shout out as well. So,
Okay.
But I'm going to give a shout out to Dauber 10 before we even start. Dauber 10, you know the answer to that question, but great seeing you and having dinner with you, and hopefully we'll do it again next year. So just wanted to say hi to him before you started.
Very nice, Dauber 10.
Dauber 10.
First up, tigers at the aquarium.
Okay. Oh, you're really. Where are you?
It was the first one
from the back.
I don't know. It started. This is the first one that comes up when I click on your post. It's the first one underneath on my side.
Tigers at the aquarium. Where the hell is he? Okay, I'll find it.
Okay.
Yep.
At Aquarium Tigers. Is there anyone you wish you could have worked with that you didn't get a chance to?
Okay. Yes, there are. I cannot find him on the sheet. Where is he? Yeah, I can't find him anywhere. This is weird. Okay. Yes, there is someone. Sherry Martell. I've told this story before, and I will tell it again. Sherry is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into the business. I loved her work. I loved everything about her. I thought she was like the greatest female in the business, and just adored her. And when I started training at ECW, she was there, and she was working. I don't know if she was working with Shane at the time. This was on the tail end because she was actually leaving the company. And when I met her, we got to talk for an extended amount of time in the locker room. And she kept telling me, I can't wait to work with you. And I'm going to grab that long hair and I'm going to whip you around. And I was just looking at her with love in my eyes. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to work with Sherry Martell. I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. Then she proceeds to tell me about when she went to Japan and was so drunk. She got so drunk on the airplane and she had to have a match like when she got off the airplane. So she was bombed, I guess, when she wrestled or something. And then I got a little scared to work with Sherry. But nonetheless, she was a doll. She was a pleasure to speak with. The following week, I go back to the, wherever we were, and she had left. She went to WCW and she was working with Harlem Heat. So I never got the opportunity to work with her, and I was completely heartbroken about it because I really wanted to. So she's the one that got away.
It's a bucket list, and I'm surprised too. Maybe not even circling back at some point. That's surprising that after WCW she didn't make a round, and that you guys never crossed paths on the Indies afterwards is interesting.
Well, because I don't know when I don't know what year she died.
She didn't die till much later. No, you'd be surprised. I can't remember what year it was. Maybe 2012.
Okay.
But she was on. No, she went and did the Indies again.
Hmm.
In the mid 2000s. I mean, she's on WWE TV in 2007 when
Huh.
doing the
Okay.
Shawn
Yeah, I
Michaels Kurt Angle feud.
never crossed paths with her.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm-mm. Not at a convention, not at a show, a signing, nothing. So I really wanted to.
I recall crossing paths with her at a signing, and she was wearing the old Shawn Michaels attire.
Oh,
And if you recall, certain part of that Shawn Michaels attire was cut out.
mm.
Got to see
She
a
was
little
wearing
bit
the chaps.
yes, she was. Got to see a
For
little bit
her.
of Sherry's keister up and close and in the flesh.
She was beautiful. She was talented. She was just everything a wrestling personality should be. And I just really wanted to work with her and learn from her because I didn't have that female counterpart to take me under their wing. I didn't have anybody like that was female. It was just like the boys, and, Shane actually filled that role for me, but I didn't have the female that I really wanted to latch on to. And I was hoping it would have been her, but unfortunately it wasn't. So my answer.
That's a great answer. That's an absolutely great answer.
Yeah.
What if?
What if?
All right. How about this one? At Jimmy Ritt 33. Was there ever a special stipulation match that genuinely had you concerned?
I'm sorry. I'm trying
He's got
to
a couple, but you want me to go through the whole thing? He's got a couple. He's got a few parts of this. So was there ever?
That's not on here either. Where are
really?
these?
Oh, that's November 19th. That's today, isn't it?
Today's the 20th.
20th. So that's all right.
Maybe I'm missing some of these papers. I don't know. It's not.
All right. How about I'll just read the whole thing through.
Oh, that's okay. Read it. That's fine.
Was there ever a special stipulation match that genuinely had you concerned? Was there ever a coworker that got color and you said to yourself, we need to stop this? I'm really scared for them. So it's a two-pronger.
Yeah. So the match with Sabu, was it Sabu and Terry Funk? It was the barbed wire match at the arena when he ripped his arm open and just flesh was hanging out and he didn't want stitches. Everybody crazy glued back then. And, I remember him being in the ring and them having to like pull the barbed wire out of his skin. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, how much farther can you go? Like, it was crazy to see. It was literally like his skin was getting ripped off his bone. You know what I mean? Like, he really needed to go to the hospital. I don't know if he did that night or not, but I just remember watching the monitor being in the back and saying to myself, dear God, what is going on? Like, stuff like that is just way too much, but a lot back then, that's a lot of those guys just were busted open and they're bleeding and they're crazy gluing themselves back together or trying to put like a big Band-Aid on it. I'm just like, no, you need medical attention. And we did have medics in the back, but a lot of the boys didn't want it,
Barbed wire legit scary because
it was real barbed wire. I mean, I've seen matches where the barbed wire was rubber. It was like fake. I've seen fake barbed wire. We never used that. Like, this was all real. You can tell because like their clothes would be held on it and you're ripping off the clothes and then the skin, it's wrapped into your skin. I was included in one barbed wire match. And I remember saying to myself, how the hell am I going to get in and out of the ring? I'm not humping the ropes because it's barbed wire. You know what I mean? I gingerly got in and got out. I was scared to death. But it was crazy. It was gross. And I remember Fonzie like trying to help him. It was a mess. So, but there have been several times where I've seen the guys bleed and I'm just like, man, it's a lot,
Hey, if not the torn flesh, think about R.I.P. the Sandman's classic Zubaz pants got ripped in his classic barbed wire match with Raven. So, I mean, yes, the flesh, but the Zubaz pants. Come on.
Should have got another pair.
All right. How about this one? At See You Soon Boy with 2 Y's.
See you soon, boy. I'm going to stop even reading. I can't even find them.
I'm liking the tweets as I go along.
All right. Yeah. Like which ones we read. That would
That's
help.
what I'm doing.
I
Okay?
can't find them on here. Okay.
All right. Were you disturbed by the vulgar chants at ECW events when they were directed towards you, or did you just take it as part of the show?
Oh my gosh. No, I was never offended, but I was impressed by the creativity. And I tried not to put the chants over in a positive way, even though sometimes I would die inside because I just wanted to applaud them and say, well done. I always said, you can call me whatever you want, but don't touch me. So call me the C word, call me a bitch, call me a whore, call me whatever. But don't punch me, don't spit on me, don't slap me, don't pull my hair, don't touch my clothes. That kind of thing is too far. If I didn't get the chance that I got, then I wasn't doing my job correctly. And as a heel, you want people to respond to you. And, you know, if I would have went out there and everybody just would have gave me the golf clap and that would have been it. I mean, you know, that I would have sucked at my job. So to generate the kind of heat that Shane and I had, or even me and Just Incredible had, and to get those chants, I wear them as a badge of honor. Even though some of them were completely gross and nasty, they were well deserved because my character was a bitch. So I enjoyed them. So thank you to everyone who partook in the event and called me names. You helped my career.
Any personal favorites?
I mean, the She's Got Herpes is a classic.
Clever.
Very clever. Yeah, there were so many of them. I mean, somebody should make a compilation video of just the things that were said to me. I do feel like out of every girl in that company, I got it the worst.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, I really,
hands down.
I really do believe that. But I enjoyed every minute of it, so it was fun.
Imagine if there's somebody like across the way that didn't know like the chants that were directed at you, and they actually maybe had herpes, and they're chanting, "She's got herpes," and they're like,
"Oh, geez,
how did they know?"
Well, you know, there were some rats back in the day who used to come to the shows, so maybe they did take offense to that. Who knows? I don't know.
Hey, what happens at the Travel Lodge stays at the Travel Lodge.
Oh, good Lord.
Or just gets revealed on a shoot interview.
That's right. 20 years later, everybody knows about it.
Oh, man. All right. How about this one? At DAJNX. He or she, whoever this account would like to know. Did you ever pitch ideas, matches, gimmicks, team-ups? Is there anything that we may not know that you had a hand in making it happen?
Oh, Paul was very receptive to talent giving ideas to him. He didn't always use them, but he would listen. I remember, I've said this story before. I remember one night he was sitting there. We might have been in New York, maybe Buffalo. I can't remember, but I remember he was sitting. It was a really big locker room. He was sitting at the table and he looked very perplexed. And I walked over to him. I said, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And he was just like, "Man," he goes, "I want something for Anthony Durante, Pitbull #2." He said, "And I can't think of anything for him to do tonight." And I said, And then I looked across the room and I saw Chris Chetty. And Chris Chetty was known as the rookie Chris Chetty back then. And a light bulb went off in my head. And I go, "Paul," I go, "do you want Anthony to go over or do you want him to lose?" And he goes, "I think he needs to lose." And I said, "Put him against Chris Chetty, let Chris Chetty go over, and then Chris Chetty can drop the rookie from his name." And Paul's face lit up like a Christmas tree. And he was like, "That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm using that." And he wrote it down on the piece of paper. And that's how Chris Chetty dropped the rookie. And I was proud of that.
There you go.
It just, I looked at him across the room and it was like, oh, like he lit up like, like when Jesus lights up. Chris had that light around him, and I was like, oh, this is perfect because this elevates Chris. And I think the Pitbulls were on their way out anyway, and he was trying to transition everything. So that's the one idea that I remember him using. But like, I would always like pitch, especially if we're sitting going over a match. And I'd say, hey, I got this move I want to try later. Can I try this? And it's like you would either go to the ring and try it out on the guy that you want to work with, or you would do it cold in, just in the ring when you're working. But the guys, again, they couldn't have been more fair with the way they used the girls. Always let us shine, always incorporated spots for us. So I'm sure I pitched a bunch of stuff. And again, not everything was accepted, but it was always heard. And I appreciate that, because some guys don't even want to put girls over or listen to any ideas. And that wasn't the way it was in ECW.
But you're always thinking, right? I mean, you're always coming up with ideas, not necessarily for others, but what if one of the guys comes up to you and says, I'm stale. I need an idea. Do you have anything that maybe I could use tonight? Like, did anybody ever do that with you?
If we were all sitting like in a circle, like say there's like 4 of us in the match, 2 guys, 2 managers, and you would hear the guys going over and him saying, well, what spot do we need next? Anybody have any ideas? And I would say, oh, why don't you do this? And sometimes they, oh, that works. Or something, well, that doesn't work because of this. And then they'd explain why it didn't. Oh, right. You're right on that. Okay. So again, listen to the ideas. Sometimes it would, see the light of day. And other times they would tell you doesn't work because of this reason. And that's how you learn psychology. That's how you learn how to put together a match. I always sat there and listened from top to bottom because I was curious and I wanted to learn everything I could. And I think it helped me. It helped me be a better performer. And again, I'm grateful to all the guys that I did work with because they always let me shine.
Yeah, great. How about then when you booked afterwards? So I think, would that have been WEW, your first time booking?
Yeah. So I booked for the women's company. And when I booked for them, I tried to make it more legit and not so much of I hate to say a joke, because we had really good female workers there, but sometimes that company was overshadowed by the porn that was, placed in the middle of certain segments. And, I just wanted us to be respected as a women's wrestling federation. And so I was trying to book things that angles can carry over, not just we'll put these 2 together and then on the next pay-per-view there's no story attached, like I wanted things to continue. So that's the way I tried the book there, like long term, instead of just for the moment. And I remember Steve Carroll, who some people would know as the money guy for ECW. He was our pay-per-view man. He called the shots with the pay-per-view. He was also the pay-per-view guy for EW. And I'll never forget, he said something crazy to me like, if you mess this up, I'll stab you, or something like that. And I said, what? And I was like, are you what? I said, did anyone hear what Steve just said to me? And because I worked, I believe I maybe refereed that match, but then I, like, after the first match, I ran up and I had the headset on and I was telling people to come in and out, and totally different experience than just being talent. And then when the show was Steve came up to me and he said, you did good. And then he walked away. And for him to like admit that, that's a big deal, because Steve doesn't really give compliments. So I took that as I hit a home run, and I was like, well, thank you, but yeah, and booking for women is a little different too. There's a different aspect in booking an all women's pay-per-view, especially when you have porn stars that don't know what they're doing and they need to be incorporated into the show. So all fun, all good time. I made the best of it. And I'm telling you, besides ECW, that's one of my favorite companies I ever worked for, was WEW. And if you haven't checked it out, go back and look, because it's a hoot.
We haven't done it in a while. We haven't
We have to
watched
do a watch along.
WEW in a long
Yeah,
time.
we
It's
have
been
to do a watch along
hot
down the
minute.
line. It's a fun take on women's professional wrestling. So,
All right.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Great question. Great answer. All right. How about at the Nature Boy 1,
woo!
whose name is Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Roleins.
Oh,
Close
okay.
relation, I guess, to Rollins.
Roland.
When Francine became big, was the character always going to run with Shane, or were other performers mentioned for Francine? Triple Threat was so dynamic and great, no other faction would have worked.
So obviously, I started with Stevie Richards, the Plan in the Crowd. Shane had, I think, was he even in the company when I started? I don't think he was even back yet.
When did you go on TV?
93 is when I started training. 94 is when
When did you debut with Stevie?
On TV, 95.
What month?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
So he leaves in around May 95.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it might have been like literally 2 ships passing in the night.
Because I don't, but I did house shows for a year and a half before I debuted for television.
Right.
And I don't remember Shane ever being in the back. I didn't meet Shane until I was with Anthony and
So
Gary.
I have photos of a house show in some one of the towns in PA, and it's when you're still in the crowd, and he's the champion on the show. So at some point, you definitely passed, but I mean,
Well,
again,
we didn't talk
30 years ago.
Yeah, he didn't talk to me until
He's a champion. Come on, you're just in the crowd.
Sorry.
He's a champion.
He didn't see all this yet. He had to warm up to me a little bit. But yeah, so I don't know what Paul's vision was for me initially. Like I know he told me once I went with the Pit Bulls, it wasn't going to be long term. And then Shane was back into the company. So maybe he knew, but he kept that a secret from me until like almost the very end. And I told the story before about Brian Lee pitching to have me be his valet or his manager. And I'm like, yeah, I go from the vinyl to chaps. Like, when am I going to be a lady? Like, I want to wear cute clothes. You know what I mean? And I love Brian. I wish we could get him on the show. We need to find him, by the way, because he's out there.
He's out there. Yeah,
he's out there. We need to find him. But I really don't know what Paul was thinking until like right maybe a week or so before that table spot happened. That's when he called me and we had a really long conversation about where my character was going. And I feel like if Shane would have stayed with the company, we would have just stayed together for the duration. I honestly don't see me breaking away from him or turning on him because the dynamic between us was so strong. And again, like sometimes change is good, but if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. So we were a couple on screen for like 3.5 years. And that's when he left and went, to WCW. So who knows? Who knows what could have been if he stayed? I mean, things could have been totally different. I really don't know. I was sad when he left because it was such a good partnership, and now 30 years later, he's still around, kind of, sort of. So it still worked out for the best.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool when you would, be with Candido when he would be in singles, I guess to an extent too, Brian Lee is a singles. It'd be cool. You be with Brian Lee. So as a manager, it would be cool if they are in singles action, you be in their corner as opposed to being exclusive to Shane.
Yeah. And for Bam Bam as well. I walked Bam Bam too, right. Like Chris Candido would always come to me and say, listen, would you work with me tonight? Tammy's not here. And he would say, would you do this spot with me like Tammy does it? And I'm like, whatever you want, Chris. Like, we're a team. Like, if you want me to come out with you, I'll come out with you. And then we would just say to Paul, is it okay if I go out with him? Yeah, go ahead, whatever. I was just afraid that people would get sick of me. oh, here she comes again. Like, there's 3 guys. Let's have her out here again. You
No,
know
well,
what I
that
mean?
helps the manager side, of your career. When you're spread throughout the
Well, yeah,
different
I
people. I
know,
mean,
but
that's what's cool about it.
I just didn't want to oversaturate the market with
Yeah,
myself.
I get
Like,
it.
there was
Right.
one night, and I think it was at the arena. Shane and I, we went to the ring 5 times
Oh,
in
jeez.
one night. And I kept telling him, like, people, they hate us, but now they're sick of us. And he would go, oh, I know, I'm sick of us too. It's like every time like somebody's music would hit, and then our music would hit, and here we
Oh
come
my
again.
God.
There was 5 different times. And
Full entrance and everything?
yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
boy.
Or
Wow.
maybe we walked out during a promo, but we went out there 5 times to the ring in one night. And I was just like, this is just overkill. Like, I hate myself. It's so annoying. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Paul said it needed to be done. So we did it.
Yeah, that's I definitely would have liked to have seen the Brian Lee partnership, maybe, and see how that would have worked, because it is such like that's intriguing. But I mean, you and Candido were great. I think that's
Yeah.
an awesome partnership too. So I mean, there's a lot more where they could have branched you off within the triple threat as just singles, where the triple threat members didn't get involved. It's just you and X more often.
Working with different people helps your character grow, and you get to do different things with different men. When I worked with Shane, it was a little more serious than working with Chris Candido. Chris Candido, he's one of the guys that would never want to call a match in the back. He always wanted to call it in the ring. And I always used to say to him, what's my spot? And he'd go, I'll tell you out there. So I would literally go out there blind, not knowing what he wanted me to do. And like in the middle of the match, he would say, hey, Francine, go get me a chair. Okay. So I would go and I would get him a chair. Or, hey, Francine, we need a table. Tell me what corner the table's in. I'd look, you'd see me looking under oh, it's over here. Okay. You want me to pull it out? Okay. He would tell me as we went along, because that's how Chris worked. Shane, on the other hand, we went over things and we sat in the back and we would talk about it and discuss it. And everybody works differently. I liked Chris's way because I didn't have to remember anything and it was just spontaneous. And I was never really on edge because I'm like, well, I don't have anything to forget. I'm just going to go out there and have a good time and listen. And when he tells me to do something, I'll do something. With Shane, enjoyed everything, but I needed to know what was coming up. I needed to be 2 steps ahead. So I would always like sit and listen to everything. That way, if Shane needed something and he couldn't get to it, oh, I know this spot. He needs this chair. I'm going to go get him a chair. I wanted to remember as much as I could about everything because sometimes the guys need help and I was there to help.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We help each other.
That's very nice. Still to this day.
Nice. Yes.
Bloody Kisses 8583, which is at John Bra 1230239.
Bloody Kisses. Okay.
Bloody Kisses. What you consider your greatest accomplishment or achievement in your career? Hashtag triple threat.
In my career, wow. There have been a lot of good moments, but I always go back to that first night at the pay-per-view, Barely Legal 97. It stands out in my mind because it's something that I think as a whole we never thought we would achieve. You always hear stories about ECW. We were the little engine that could, right? We were the land of misfit toys. Nobody wanted us. Paul took a bunch of guys, talented guys nonetheless, but a bunch of guys and made us superstars. A lot of us were homegrown. Most of the people that came in and out didn't stay very long. They already were established and they wanted greener pastures. They wanted more money. So a lot of us were younger, hungrier, and when we got on the syndicated channels, Sports Channel Philadelphia and all these syndicated channels, we felt like we really accomplished something. But then we're told we're going on pay-per-view. And that's something that within a 2-year span, because for me, because I started on TV in 95, by 1997, here we are doing Barely Legal. And it was just mind-blowing. And if you watch Beyond the Mat and you see Paul giving that passionate speech on the staircase, like I'm literally in tears standing there listening to him, because, and I'm getting goosebumps like right now, like it was yesterday. I can remember it vividly. Everybody standing there and Paul telling us we all deserve this. We all deserve to be here. It was such a monumental moment for the company. And it's something that I'll never forget. I never take it for granted. I feel like today it's much easier to get on pay-per-view because, people consider pay-per-view like, I don't know, like if you're streaming online, or like it I think it meant more back in the day. It was more of an achievement. I feel like everybody's on pay-per-view nowadays.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And now that there's not even just traditional pay-per-view, it's the blah blah blah.
Like streaming networks, and it's an easier market to get on.
Yeah.
But I feel like we had to like claw and scratch to get our position, and it was just something that we were all so proud of, and we all look back fondly on. So for me, like, I think my favorite, besides the table spot, because that elevated me to another level, but I think Barely Legal, even though Shane and Anthony's match wasn't what they wanted, it was still such a monumental night for the company as a whole. And I'll never, ever forget the vibe in that locker room. We were all ecstatic to be there.
You were on, you were off, then you guys were losing it completely, then you got the deal, and it was like, then you were getting what affiliate was going to pick you up. It was such, can't imagine what you guys were feeling, because you didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring, because you were either too hot for TV or you weren't.
And I don't think we knew any better back then either. It was kind of like, oh, something's cool is happening. Oh, great. Oh, we didn't get that. Well, that's okay, because we didn't have it anyway. Oh, but this is happening. Okay, great. We're going to get this now.
Yeah. My boss has to go out in the ring and tell people to write letters to cable companies to say, hey, we want our wrestling show to go on pay-per-view. It's like, can you imagine that now?
I feel like the biggest letdown was the TNN deal, because like everybody's like, oh, TNN, national TV, that was our demise. But by then we were all smart enough to know this isn't going to work. When Barely Legal hit, I feel like we were just like, we had stars in our eyes, and we were like, okay, we're on pay-per-view now. Things are just going to fall into place, and we're just going to keep going up and up and up the ladder.
Right.
And then when you get to the top of that ladder and you get pushed off, what do? So unfortunately, that was the beginning of the end for us. But, no one can ever take away Barely Legal.
This is a good question. I like this one.
Okay.
Corey Hummel at Corey Michael Hum is the name. What has been best rewarding about the podcast Eyes Up Here to you?
Oh, working with you, Chad. That's the most monumental thing I could have ever accomplished in this.
I would answer the same thing.
Working with yourself?
That's right. No.
Okay. I feel like, in the beginning, I did not want to do this. And you remember our initial conversation. I was like, I don't want to do this because everybody does a wrestling podcast. And what's going to make me stand out or make me different? But I'm glad that we did it. And, 4 years have gone by, and I have picked up new fans who weren't privy to ECW through this outlet. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you never know who's listening, and a younger generation has found me through podcasting. So I think that's one of the better things that has happened from this is we've gotten new fans, and they listen to the podcast, and they go over and they watch our YouTube videos. They go and they watch old ECW stuff. They want to come see us at a show or a convention. It generates, a whole new, a whole new demographic I suppose, because you're getting 20-year-olds that come up to the table now, and I could be your mother. They don't care.
Yeah. And it creates content that, just like your wrestling career, people can go back and enjoy for years and years.
Yeah. Like when we talk about things from the past, or we do watch-alongs or whatever, and they're seeing it through my eyes for the first time, not living it when it happened. I think that's kind of cool. It's like when I go back and I listen to like some Beatles albums that I didn't know existed back then. I wasn't around when the Beatles were hot, but I can enjoy them now. So it's the same thing. So it just gives me another platform to, I guess, sell my brand to. And I don't know, put myself out there. And I just appreciate everybody giving us a chance and listening to the show.
Well
and
said.
it's fun. It's fun to do this. Nothing's better than when you're at a convention and somebody comes up to you and they say, "I love your podcast. It's so fun. I love listening to you when I'm in the car driving, or I love watching your YouTube channel," or whatever they say. It just makes you think to yourself, man, it's worth it. It's worth all the hard work that you put into, doing this kind of thing. So I appreciate everyone. And I'm so glad that you're listening. Makes me happy.
Second that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. How about this one? James 21999 wants to know, if you could change any booking decisions, yours or anyone else's, what would it be?
Wow. I would change the TNN deal. Does that count as a booking?
Look, consistency is key. You have been, that is one thing in all the years we've been doing this show that you have vehemently panned as the TNN deal.
I would change the TNN deal. I wouldn't have taken that. I would have held off for something better. And also I would have, if I had to say, I would have changed the fake EC dub and made it more authentic to the original ECW and not had the nonsense that went on. I mean, just let's call a spade here. It was not ECW. It didn't reflect ECW. You might have seen some familiar faces, but you can't polish a turd and make it look like a diamond. You know what I'm saying? So
there could have been a happy marriage between their vision and the original. There could have been the original with the spin that they needed to put. The biggest mistake that I think they made, outside of the zombie being in the first segment of the first new reboot, was that they didn't go to the arena for the first show. That was a huge, huge mistake.
Yeah, we went for a house show.
Right.
And I worked that house show, but we didn't. Yeah, we didn't film there for television. So I don't know. I think that was a missed opportunity. I think it could have been done so much more just authentic to the original brand. And my pitch that I got to get me to sign my contract, none of it happened. Not one thing that I was told happened. So, I felt like a little betrayed. But again, it was my last big run, made a little bit of money, made some good friends from it, and life goes on. If you don't take a chance, you don't know what's going to happen. So you always have to take that chance.
ABBA, take a chance.
Take a chance on me.
Take a chance on me.
Right. Because you don't know. Could have been wonderful. It wasn't, but it could have been. So
let the bodies hit the floor.
Please.
Okay, a couple more here. How about at TJ Frazier 6317? What would be the perfect, quote, happily ever after for you, professionally or personally? Or excuse me, professionally and personally.
Well, personally, I have it. I have my 2 children. I have my husband. I am happily married, and motherhood is all I ever wanted. So that's my happily ever after. Professionally, I feel like I've done everything that I set out to do in this business. I'm not the type who wants to make a comeback. I don't want to be on TV anymore. I don't want that final run. I am perfectly okay with the conventions that I do, the indie shots that I take. I work when I want. And if I don't want to work, I stay home. And I have a great home life. I'm with my kids. I'm with my husband. I can't ask for anything better. I make my own schedule. I have a great podcast. I have a YouTube channel that we work on. I mean, I get to do a lot of things from home, which is great because then I don't have to leave my kids. You know what I mean? Like I feel like everything has aligned for me. And especially now with us being on iHeart, I feel like things are finally starting to take place and go in the right direction for my brand. And I'm happy with my life the way it is. So my happily ever after has happened. And now I'm just enjoying the ride. There's nothing else I could ask for. What more do I need?
You got it. Ride that wave. Just ride the wave.
Just like health. Health is the thing I pray for myself and for my family and friends. I pray for health because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, that money doesn't mean anything. So,
well, we have a question about that. And that is at Magnum Rules. How are you feeling? I'm not trying to make it on the show or anything, which you did.
You made
but
it.
I listened, and you mentioned taking a lot of tests and your stomach being scared internally, but I think they meant scarred. Or maybe I read it wrong. Oh, and by the way, women are stronger than men. Hands down, I would never fathom giving birth.
Yeah.
That's our argument from a few weeks back.
No man would ever fathom giving birth. Yeah, I still have a lot of tests to go before the end of the year. Got to take care of these kidney stones. We have to take care of my GI problem. I have x-rays coming up, an ultrasound coming up, my colonoscopy, my endoscopy, like all these things are coming up. So if you are one who prays or sends good vibes, just send them to me because hopefully everything will be good. And then I don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. But, the pain in my stomach, no one knows where it comes from. And that's annoying. So I'm kind of hoping they find something to fix it. Because if they don't find anything, like, why am I in pain all the time? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, fingers crossed, praying. I went to church a couple of days ago and I was like, please, God, just let me find what's wrong with my stomach so I can just live a normal life. And I love food, man. I love food. I love eating food. I love smelling food. I love looking at food. Like, I'm a foodie. And when you're a foodie and you can't eat food, that's like the worst thing in the world, Like the pizza that we ate at your house killed me. It killed me when I went to bed and I was up all night because my stomach hurt. My stomach should not hurt from eating food. So, but thank you for the question and just send me good thoughts. And we'll get this taken care of.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. One like, one share, one prayer. Ever see that?
Yes. Excuse me. All right. How about at Real Paulie Ryder? Which is your favorite Care Bear?
Care Bear? Oh my God.
Remember the Care Bears? Care Bear stare? Come on.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got Friendship Bear, you got Grumpy Bear, you got
Love Bear,
Lionheart Bear. There's a lot of bears.
I know what they are, but I don't know their names. I know they have stuff on their bellies, right?
Oh,
like
they got
heart, a star,
they got hearts, they got
rainbows.
Now, don't get them confused with Lucky Charms, but they got rainbows and little
No, I know what Care Bears are. I don't know. Is there one that's grumpy?
He's angry. I mean, yeah, I guess Grumpy would be his name.
I'll say him because I'll hug him and make him feel better.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. They're cute, but I don't differentiate which one's which. I'm sorry.
At Amy Serenity, what's your favorite romantic movie?
Oh my God, Romeo and Juliet from 1968.
Oh,
Love
really?
it. Oh my God.
Oh, loseroo.
I have watched that movie 100 times and I've cried 100 times. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Have you seen it?
Yes, I had to watch it in school. It
Oh,
was,
that
I
heart.
want to say like 7th or 8th grade, but it was
Oh,
also around the time that the remake came out in 95, 96.
yeah.
What? Oh my God, what a snooze fest.
Well, I didn't like I didn't love the remake of it,
No, I
but
thought the remake sucked too.
the original, as soon as the narrator starts talking, I just start crying because I know the acting was beautiful for a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old to act that brilliantly blew my mind. They're babies and they're portraying this love story like they've been acting for 40 years. Like it was brilliantly done. It's a beautiful play and I could watch it 100 more times. I love it.
Okay. Last one I'm going to take from Twitter before I get to the mystery one. It's another short one. At Dana McG93, favorite color?
Green.
Really?
Green.
Interesting. I didn't
Yes.
know that.
I love green.
So you want me to change the background to green?
You can't do green on the green screen.
Oh, okay.
I can't wear or I can't wear green on a green screen because I'll disappear completely.
I was not aware of that. All right. So this question was submitted by the Chadster in Virginia.
He's a loser. What a schmuck. At schmuck12345.com.
The schmuck of the week brought to you by the Chadster.
Okay.
I have a question regarding a photo that I'm going to bring up.
Oh God. Oh no. Is it
I need to know the origin of said photo.
Oh, I'm scared.
Okay. Please let me know the story behind this photo.
Okay.
So for those listening on iHeartRadio, I just brought up a photo of, I'm going to think this is this Big Show era? Paul White.
Paul White. Oh, I don't know.
Cradling Francine and, like he's going to toss her across the room or something.
I don't know if this is, this might be WCW.
This is that's what I'm saying. Is this the giant Paul White?
Giant. I think it was yeah. So I did a convention somewhere. I was in ECW still. So this is the 90s. And they sent me to do a convention. And I remember I'm sitting at the table and this guy walks up to me and he says, Paul White wants to meet you. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, Paul White wants to meet you. And I go, okay. And he goes, well, you need to come in this room. And I'm like, what? So I think I had a line or something. I was like, well, let me finish signing. And when I take a break, if you want to come back and walk me over there. And so this guy comes back and he takes me into this room and there's Paul standing there and a million photographers come running into the room and Paul just comes right over, picks me up and everybody starts taking pictures. It was one of the most awkward moments ever. And I was just like, well, nice to meet you. And I think we shook hands. I don't even remember having a conversation with him. And then I went back to my table and that was that. It was very bizarre, very weird. I don't even know how it came to be, but I was summoned into this room by Paul White.
Well, there you go. So
there you go.
There's my question on the origin.
I was in there for like 5 minutes.
What a random, I saw that. I was like, I've had that in my photo roll for like a month. I've been saving it. And when I saw this show pop up, I said, well, now I got the perfect time.
That's so funny. Yeah. Every once in a while, somebody will post that on my Twitter. I'm like, here it is again. It's either Paul or Luger. One or the other.
That is that's so random. So WCW the Giant meets ECW's friend. What a crossover! A meeting of the two companies.
Yeah, but
that's big news back then.
I was summoned into the room. It was like, you need to take her into this room, and I was like, and then It was like weird. As soon as I walked into the room, it was like a press conference and all these cameras were at, and I was like, I don't know what's happening now. And he just scooped me up and it was the most awkward thing. And I'm just like, ta-da, okay, see you later. Yeah, it was weird.
Would you like me to retweet your tweet and let the folks know who we answered the questions of that their questions have been answered so they can listen back?
Yeah. Well, no, because I want everybody to listen.
Okay, so I'll retweet your tweet to say, listen to see whose questions were answered, even though I liked all the tweets that I answered. I asked the question.
They're not going to.
Maybe they won't look that far into it.
No, they won't, but yeah.
But no, great questions. And we have a ton that we can go back to. We'll do this again. I love these. I absolutely love these.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun.
Well, they make my life easier for YouTube.
Thank you for everyone who submitted a question, and we'll do it again, but we still have some that we didn't get to. So we'll finish this off and then we'll do a second round. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, where can people find you, Chad? Oh, okay. Where can people find you? And then I want to plug my my gimmick.
Sure. Yep. Find me on Twitter at ChadEMB, on Instagram at IB Exclusives. You can catch me every week here on Eyes Up Here, as well as on the Queen of Extremes YouTube, but she'll give all that information here very, very shortly. And we will catch you next time when I'm back on Eyes Up Here. Very, very soon, next week.
Yeah. Okay. And on December 2nd, I want to plug Blizzard Brawl. It'll be myself, Shane Douglas, and Fonzie, Bill Alfonso will be there signing autographs. It's going to be a great show. I'm being taken there by Scott Hewlett. So Scott, thank you for booking us and looking forward to it. All the info is on my Twitter for it. So if you're in the Wisconsin area, I think it's close to Milwaukee. I'm not sure how close, but come on out and see us. It's going to be a good time. If you haven't, there's the poster. Yeah, it's Waukesha. Yes. So the show starts at 7, but there'll be a meet and greet during the day, and Shane and I and Fonzie will be on that meet and greet. So we would love for you to come and say hey, and looking forward to seeing everybody there. There's that handsome Bill Alfonso, who I love so much. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Go to the search bar, type in ECW Diva Francine with an exclamation point. We're close to 9,000 subscribers. We want to get to 10. So let's subscribe. It's free. Tell your friends. If you see me tweet about it, please RT and help us spread the word. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at ECW Diva Francine. Hope everybody has a great day. And remember to make someone smile. Take care.